up, y'all? It's your girl K Bougie back again with another video, y'all. And I hope that y'all enjoyed y'all New Year's, y'all, cause we sure enough did. But y'all, don't mind my room, y'all. I know my room look a little bit of a mess, y'all, but we getting ready. Cause I was gonna drop a video for you guys yesterday, but we just getting prepared and ready for, just getting our room together and stuff like that, getting prepared for our baby girl. And I don't know, for the ones that's new, y'all don't have me on social media and stuff like that, but I did go on Instagram the other day and asked you guys, did you guys want me to give y'all like a story time of when I found out I was pregnant? And y'all said yes. Y'all voted for yes. So this is going to be the story time of how I found out I was pregnant. So if y'all new, like, comment, subscribe, and let's go. All right, y'all. So pretty much when I found out I was pregnant, it was pretty much in August of last year. So for those of y'all that know, my birthday is August 26th. For those of y'all that don't know, now you know. But pretty much, yeah. So pretty much, y'all, we was getting ready for my birthday and stuff. Like, I want to say maybe like a week before my birthday. I feel like these little cramps and stuff like that. And, I really didn't pay them too much attention because I haven't had a period since June 27th. So, maybe I thought my period was about to come on and stuff like that, So I was just kind of waiting on it, but I was also praying that, it didn't come on because my birthday is literally next week. So I was like, and what we had planned for my birthday was to go out to eat. So I think we was going to my mom's house that Thursday night. Then that Friday night, we going out to eat. Well, that Friday morning, me and my boyfriend was going to go to, get some breakfast. And then Friday night, pretty much, we all going out to eat. And then Saturday, we were supposed to go to, it's not like really a resort, but it's kind of like, I don't know really what to call it, but I'm going to let y'all know further into the video and stuff. So, we had like a lot of stuff planned. We had water things involved, with getting into the water and stuff like that. So I was just hoping and praying, my period did not come on because I was like, I definitely want to get in the water, And this was our first time, going to this specific place. So I really wanted to get the whole experience, So, I was feeling these cramps throughout the day or two, the week before my birthday, but I really didn't pay too much attention because, no period. So I was just like, okay. And I really wasn't on my mind too much, that I haven't had a period. I didn't realize really that I didn't have a period in so long. Cause that's about a whole month, without a period. So, but I was just praying, if that's what was gonna happen. I was praying, my period did not come on. But, of course it didn't come on and stuff like that, and the cramps went away. So, I didn't think much of it pretty much after that, It was I only was cramping for like maybe 2 days, and that was it. So now we're at the week of my birthday. So I'm pretty much just getting stuff prepared because pretty much the trip to my mom's house, for my birthday, that was like last minute and stuff like that. Because what I really wanted to do for my birthday was I wanted to do a photo shoot because I never done a photo shoot for my birthday before. And I wanted to get like a resort and stuff like that, but that just didn't happen. Things just wasn't working out and everything, just bad timing for everything. So yeah, so we had ended up making a plan where, I would celebrate my birthday the weekend after my birthday. So I would come down to my mom's house, we would come down to my mom's house, and then the rest of that night we would relax unless we had energy to, go out and do something. But Me and my boyfriend was staying in Jacksonville at the time, and then my mom, she stays in Orlando, Kissimmee area. So yeah, I know that's a drive, especially leaving after, I think we left probably around 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So yeah, that's terrible timing, y'all. That is just traffic. So yeah. So that was the plan, to do that. And then the Friday night, we was gonna go out to eat and stuff like that. That Saturday we was gonna get up and go to this place called the Lagoon. And then pretty much after that, Sunday, I think we were just preparing, we were just gonna chill Sunday, do something small, and then Monday morning head back up to Jacksonville. So that was the plan. We were just like, all right, that's just what we're gonna do, since my plan, what I really wanted to do for my birthday didn't work out, we just came up with a plan B and we made it work. So now it's the day of my birthday. The day of my birthday, I really didn't do anything, special. My main focus was just getting my hair done. So I really spent my whole birthday, doing my hair. And I had small box braids. So yeah. Yeah, I know that took about like 2 days, 2 to 3 days for me to finish, for me to do, because I believe I started on my birthday. So it took me about 2 to 3 days to finish my hair, and then I had them really, really long, and it was the same color as this. So yeah, it took me about, I want to say 2 or 3 days. And then I had to squeeze my boyfriend in because he had to get his hair done. So I was just pretty much doing hair for my birthday. But I did enjoy, my birthday and stuff, since we was already planning, to do all of this, the weekend of my birthday. We were just like, let's go ahead and, get all this stuff done. So yeah. But pretty much after that, that Thursday we started packing our clothes and everything, just getting everything ready. So pretty much that Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, we hit the road, leaving Jacksonville, headed here. So we get here, and on our way here, I started to feel cramps on and off, again. So mind y'all, I was having cramps the week before my birthday, like for 2 days on and off, and then it completely stopped. And then now, it's probably like my birthday, I believe, was on a Tuesday. So Thursday, we're leaving, we're hitting the road to come here to my mom's house. So pretty much I started feeling cramps, like they came back. So I was just like, that was weird, So now I'm thinking at this point that now that I'm down here, we're getting ready to enjoy my birthday, we're getting ready to celebrate my birthday, now my period trying to come on. So I was just praying, like this is not what it is, because literally I was just feeling these cramps last week and nothing happened, it went away, and then now all of a sudden it's back, So I was just like, I hope my period don't come on, y'all. But anyway, we just pretty much chilled, once we got here and stuff like that, because it was pretty much late and stuff like that. We were all pretty tired and stuff, because it's like when you leave in Jacksonville, especially like around 4 or 5 o'clock, I know there's traffic. Then coming to Orlando, Kissimmee area, that's even more traffic. So we didn't get here till pretty much late, like 10, 11 o'clock. So we were tired, we did not want to do anything besides, lay down, take showers, eat, and rest. That was it. So that's pretty much what we did, just relaxed for the whole rest of the Thursday night, So Friday morning and stuff, we pretty much got up, and my boyfriend, he wanted to take me to Kiki's Breakfast, because I never been. I always heard about it and stuff, and always heard good reviews and stuff on it. So I was like, I definitely want to go to Kiki's Breakfast and try Kiki's Breakfast. So he treated me to that. We didn't eat there because it was super duper packed, and yeah. And at this point, my body started to feel weird. Like I felt a little hungrier than usual. Like I couldn't really explain what I was feeling, but I really started to feel kind of offish a little bit. and stuff, because normally before I found out I was pregnant and everything like that, like I would kill food, like I would eat food, like I would never had a problem with food ever. So I don't care what it is, breakfast, lunch, and then I'm always eating. Like I'm always killing my food. I finish my food, I go for seconds, if I'm that hungry. But I just felt that my body was off. Like the food, it smelled good once we got it and we came home and stuff. We ate. I was definitely hungry. My boyfriend was definitely hungry. And he always eat his food, he always kill his food. But at this particular morning, I didn't kill my food like we expected. Like, my appetite was there, but it wasn't there, and it was kind of off because it's like, yeah, I know, like, it's kind of like, why am I not eating my food, and I was starving, y'all, like, I was hungry, so I wasn't sure as to why I wasn't, like, eating my food for real. But, I ate pretty much until I got full, and Kiki's breakfast pretty much, sorry, y'all, if y'all see me pulling on my shirt, it's a little hot. But anyway, pretty much for like they price and stuff like that, like they price and everything matches up with how much food they give you and how big. And I believe I had got the French toast sticks. I got like 2 French toast sticks, so the French toast sticks was like really, really big. I think I had eggs and grits and sausage. So they give you like a lot of sauce. I think like maybe 2 or 3 things of sausage, a lot of eggs. The eggs was probably the only thing I really wasn't a fan of because of the way they made it. That's not the way I make my scrambled eggs, so I don't think I was really feeling that, but everything else was good. My boyfriend, I think he had got 2 pancakes, and them pancakes was really, really big, y'all. Like, them pancakes was huge. I forgot what else he had. I think he has got some eggs too, but he also didn't like it. I think he had sausage and bacon, if I'm not mistaken. But, the food was pretty good, for their price. Like I said, the food was good. So we ate that, and pretty much I kind of got tired, and me, I'm a person that, like, has energy. So even if I eat, I'm ready to go be active. I'm ready to go do something, With this particular, Friday morning, I just wanted to kind of just relax, I really didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to, really do much right now, And I get it sometimes, especially after you eat big. You get tired, you get full and stuff like that. But me, I was more of a, like, I let my food digest, but I'm ready to get up and start my day, Especially it's my birthday, but that's the type of energy, I would have. But that Friday morning after I ate, I just wanted to really relax and take a nap, pretty much. So that's what we did, pretty much, up until about 4 or 5 o'clock. Then everybody started getting ready, for the Kobe's dinner and stuff like that. And, yeah. And mind y'all, as we getting ready, these cramps are coming back on and off and stuff like that. I had this, like, this pretty red dress, but I feel like I lost weight because before, when I first tried it on a year ago, back in 2024, I was able to fit the dress perfectly. So now I haven't worn the dress, since whatever time I wore it back in 2024. So, this was my birthday dress. This was my dinner dress, that we wore, that we're gonna wear for dinner. So y'all, as I put it on, it's like it's not holding, my girls together. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I didn't lose weight, and as I'm noticing that my chest area then got big. Just a little bit, but it didn't dawn on me that they didn't got big. It's just something just didn't look right. Something didn't look right. And you look at yourself every day, but y'all probably really don't notice, much of a difference when things change a little bit. And it wasn't like a humongous change or nothing like that. But I noticed they got like a little bigger, I guess you could say. But I just knew something was off. I just knew something just didn't look right. So, yeah, I continue, getting ready and stuff like that. And then, we hit Kobe's. We go out to dinner. We had a good time. And yeah, everything was pretty much good and stuff like that. And then I want to say pretty much after the dinner, my mom and them went back home because they was tired. My mom, she had to go to work. You know, she was busy and stuff like that. She had things to do after the dinner, so she had to go back home and stuff like that. But me and my boyfriend and my cousin and my uncle, we pretty much stayed out and chilled out because I still had energy. I wasn't tired, even though we ate good. I was pretty full. And at this point, I had an appetite. It was like my appetite was back. You know, I was eating. So I really couldn't tell, you know, that I was pregnant at the time. So we pretty much went to Old Town and we got on some rides and stuff like that. And mind y'all, I don't know that I'm pregnant at this time. You know, I don't have a clue that I'm pregnant, you know. Like, even though my body feels a little off, you know, and I got all these cramps coming and going, you know, but I'm just thinking maybe it's my period about to come on. You know, I'm not thinking nothing major like, oh, you know, I could be pregnant or whatnot, you know. So we get on rides and stuff, you know, we just pretty much walk and hang out. But then I started to get like kind of tired a little bit. But I thought, you know, maybe I did eat, we got full and stuff, and then as we walking around, I'm getting ices and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe I'm full, you know. I done did we done did some riding, we walking around, I done ate good, so I'm a little tired, you know. So my uncle, he had got like a hotel right by the restaurant, so we went to the hotel and chilled out there for a little while and stuff. And you know, we just hanging out and everything, and then we eventually got really, really sleepy. So me and my boyfriend had to leave to come back to the house, to my mom's house. So we did that, and then pretty much after that, we crashed. We was tired. So now it is Saturday. So everybody was pretty much supposed to go to the lagoon, but my mom pretty much, she got home. She used to work overnight, so pretty much when she got home, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. So my mom, she's tired, you know, she don't want to get on the road, you know, to kind of hang out. She tired. So me and my boyfriend had just went and we just met my uncle, because my uncle and them, they stayed out that way in Tampa. So we just pretty much was meeting them out there, you know, to hang out and stuff like that. So me and my boyfriend had got ready and we hit the road and we went. And GPS had us go a back way, y'all. So the back way, it took us so long to get there. Like, I was so tired and drained just from that whole car ride, and it was hot, the sun was out, I was tired, and it made me hungry. So we got there and stuff like that. We met up with my uncle and stuff. And we pretty much was just hanging out, just chilling, you know, just having a good time. And, yeah. So, pretty much, their food was okay. Like, I was kind of, like, this is our first time, mind y'all, this is our first time, you know, going to the lagoon. We ain't never been to the lagoon, you know, so eating their food, it was okay. You know, they really don't have a lot of food options out there. And for the prices that they're charging you for this food, is just like kind of crazy and insane, you know. So I was just like, yeah, like the food was good, but you know, it just wasn't crazy good how I expected it to be, you know. Because, you know, for your birthday, all you want to do is eat on some good food. Like, the whole time when you out somewhere, you want to eat on some good food. It was good in a way because I was hungry, but it wasn't like I just paid all that money type of good, you know. So, yeah, so pretty much we ate, we let our food digest and stuff. But then by the time we tried to get out there to the water, the sun it started to get cloudy out there. So it was like, I really didn't want to get in the water because it's cloudy, and then a little bit of wind started to hit. So I'm just like, dang. But we still, you know, tried to get in the water and stuff. And the water felt good, but it was like cold at the same time. And then me and my boyfriend didn't even bring no towels, y'all. Like, me and him thinking that, you know, the place maybe, you know, provide towels and stuff like that. You know, and something told me in the back of my mind to bring some towels, but we didn't bring no towels. So, yeah, it was cold, but we didn't get our whole bodies wet because we didn't have no towels. and we see they ain't provide no towels. So yeah, so pretty much we just chilled at the bar and stuff with my uncle, you know, watched the football game. Pretty much that was that. And then eventually, you know, we all left. My uncle went to his house. You know, we came back to mom's house. Pretty much by the time we got back, it was kind of pretty much late, because I believe we left like around 5, 6 o'clock. So we didn't make it back here to around 7, 8 o'clock. So we were just ready to take showers, you know, eat, and pretty much relax for the rest of the night. And that's pretty much what we did. So then it was Sunday. So Sunday, originally we were supposed to go home, but we wanted to stay, you know, extra day just to kind of chill. So Sunday, I don't think we really did anything. Yeah, but I noticed like Saturday night, you know, like I was having, no, this wasn't Saturday night, but I was having, of course, the cramps continue, you know, throughout while we was at the lagoon. It continued, you know, as we was home and stuff like that. As we got back to my mom's house, it continued that night. It continued, but the cramps wasn't bad, you know, and they would come and go. So I just was really not thinking too much of it, and then I'm tired, you know. So pretty much after that, we pretty much went to sleep. So Sunday's here, so pretty much we supposed to leave Sunday, but we want to stay an extra day. You know, my boyfriend had work Monday, and he was like, you know, he wants to leave Monday morning, you know. So we was like, okay, cool. So we just stayed Sunday. We just pretty much chill. We really ain't do much of anything. I was tired, you know, from all the driving that we did, just being in the car and everything. So I was tired. I really wasn't complaining about doing anything. And at this point, you know, I just was feeling off. You know, like I didn't want to go out and do anything. I really didn't want to get out and move around and, you know, go do something. And mind you, it's my birthday weekend. So I'm supposed to be out celebrating. I'm supposed to be out just hanging out and doing things. But, you know, my body's just off. I'm just off. So we pretty much just chill at my mom's house, you know, Sunday, and didn't do anything. So Sunday night, going into Monday morning, I started waking up in the middle of the night because I had these cramps were like extreme, and I didn't know what was going on because I just went from these little cramps, you know, that come and go to now these extreme cramps, and it's coming in the middle of the night. So I told my boyfriend, you know, about the cramps and stuff like that, and he was trying to comfort me, you know, make sure I was okay and stuff like that. But I was just like kind of concerned because where did these little, you know, cramps come from? But I was kind of like, you know, my period about to come on now. You know, I'm not sure why I was having these cramps throughout the time I was here and throughout the time I was, you know, on my way to my mom's house. But I was just like, at this point, my period about to come on, you know. Because mind y'all, I did pray and God answered prayers. So I was just like, you know, the birthday over with, my period about to come on. We about to go back home. You know, it is what it is. So Monday morning, you know, pretty much the cramps lasted for a little while. Then they went away. They stopped. I was able to kind of get some rest. But they kept coming back and going. So it was kind of like a rough night for me. Rough middle of the morning for me. So it was time for us to get up. We did not get up at the time we were supposed to get up, but we eventually got up and hit the road and left and stuff. And on the way home, I was definitely going through it. Those extreme cramps, you know, kept hitting me. And then the sun was out, the sun was shining. It was very, very hot outside. So I was definitely catching hell. You know, I was not really feeling myself, you know, feeling like myself. I was definitely feeling off. I was feeling, you know, just really off. Like, these extreme cramps are starting to hit me. You know, I feel like I'm going through a whole bunch of mood swings. Like, it just feel like it's a lot going on at one time, you know. And I'm just confused of where it's coming from. The only thing I could think of is, you know, my period about to come on, you know. So we get home and stuff. My boyfriend, he unpacked the car and stuff, and then he had to leave straight to go to work. So I'm home, you know, putting heat compressors on the areas where I'm, you know, hurting and cramping at to kind of ease the pain off, you know, where the pain off. So, you know, eventually the cramps, you know, wore off and stuff like that. And I pretty much, you know, took a nap and stuff like that, just really rested my body. So I pretty much slept. And I want to say we got home around 11, 12. So my boyfriend was probably like an hour late for work, but pretty much, you know, I pretty much rested up until close to the time he got home, which is he ain't get home to around about 5, 6 o'clock, I think, that day. So pretty much, you know, that's when I was about close to getting up, you know, when he was getting home and stuff. And, you know, as the nights progressed, you know, the cramps was just extreme, extreme, extreme. So the only thing I thought of was just to keep putting heat compressants on the area, because at this point, you know, I'm not sure as to why I'm having all of these cramps, you know, and that now these cramps are extreme, you know, and stuff like that. And I know people would be like, oh, why you didn't go to the hospital or go to the emergency room and see what was going on? My mind really ain't down on that, y'all, to be honest with y'all. Because it's just a lot going on in my body. My body is like going through a whole bunch of changes at this point, you know. I'm not really realizing that, but it's just, I'm feeling it, you know. Like I'm just really, really tired. I just don't have no energy for nothing. And I just was feeling really, really lazy, you know. And I just couldn't understand why, because, you know, like, I'm thinking my period's supposed to come on, you know, that's not coming on. So I was just pretty much confused, y'all. Like I wasn't sure what was going on. But pretty much, you know, throughout the last couple nights since we've been back home, cramps have been extreme. They haven't been really, really bad, but they was a little extreme. So this one particular night, this is the night before I found out I was pregnant. We was getting ready for bed, you know, we went to bed and everything like that. And then I woke up maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was in deep, deep pain. Like I was running to the bathroom crying, turning on the shower, turning it on hot, you know, getting in there because the pain is so extreme. So at this point, I was trying to wake my boyfriend up and let him know, you know, I need to go to the emergency room because I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm having these extreme cramps and stuff like that. But my boyfriend had just fell asleep at this point. Because I did leave him up. I fell asleep on him. So pretty much when I was waking up, he was just falling asleep. So it's like he didn't really have the energy to really get up to go to the hospital. And I wanted to be safe at the end of the day because I didn't want him to be falling asleep in the hospital from where we stayed. It was like 30 minutes. So I kind of had to thug it out, y'all. But pretty much by that time, the pain was going away. So I pretty much just got in bed and, you know, went back to sleep. So I think around 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, it started to hit again. So I just jumped in the shower again and sat in the shower. And when I had to jump in the shower, I had to sit in there for at least 30 minutes, you know, just straight hot shower hitting the areas that's hurting, you know, for the pain to go away. So I did that, and I was just like, yeah, so pretty much, you know, I was just looking at myself, you know, and stuff like that, just trying to figure out what's going on, you know, at this point, because it's just a lot going on with myself, you know, like me just dawning on the points. Before my birthday, I was having these cramps, you know, as my birthday was going on, you know, my birthday weekend going on, I'm having these cramps, you know, I'm back home having these cramps, but now they're more extreme. So I was just really concerned at this point of what was really going on. So I noticed in my little chest area as I was looking in the mirror that I have all of these, all of my veins just popping out like real blue, and they just spurting from every direction. They look like plants or something, like, or roots. So I'm just like, I don't think it's supposed to look like that. So I had Googled it and stuff like that, and the number one answer that popped up was pregnant. So I was just like, pregnant? So we had the dollar store that was right across from our apartment complex where we stayed at. So I had walked to Family Dollar real quick to get a pregnancy test, and I had got a digital pregnancy test. But y'all, I messed it up. So the first pregnancy test I took was digital. But y'all know with that, y'all supposed to, you know, pee on the stick and then leave it flat down on a flat surface and leave it. But see me, I was doing too much moving, you know. It was just a lot to process at the time because this one I'm really starting to see my chest area pop out, you know, like something was definitely off. So that time I was putting on my birthday dress and stuff like that and I seen it, I wasn't tripping. It was really, that's really what was going on. But in my mind at the time I was just thinking, you know, I know something wasn't right there, but I couldn't tell really what it was. But now it's hitting me. So the digital test, you know, I messed up, so I couldn't get an accurate answer. It said something like error or something like that. So I had to take the second test that came with it, and it said I was pregnant. So I'm looking, and I went to go tell my boyfriend, and I say, look, this thing says I'm pregnant. So he looking at it and stuff, and we like smiling. But before I can really get excited, I'm just like, let me go to the dollar store. Let me go back to Family Dollar and get 2 more pregnancy tests and let me see. Because at this point, I'm just like, for this thing to say I'm pregnant, you know, it does kind of match up with the way I'm feeling and stuff. And then when I Google a lot of these things, that's what comes up. You know, all of these mood swings, these cramps, this, and that. But I'm just like, you know, I want to make 1,000% sure, you know, before I get excited, before I really show her off a reaction. So, you know, I go get another pregnancy test and stuff, and then I take them. And they say pregnant. So, you know, I showed all of them to my boyfriend. He was the first person to know. And we was excited and stuff like that. You know, I called my mom and told her, and pretty much told everybody. Everybody was very shocked, but very, very excited and happy for us, y'all. And yeah. And throughout my pregnancy or my first trimester, y'all, I was pretty much, you know, throwing up and stuff like that. I kind of figured in the beginning that it was a girl because girls have you like very sensitive in the nose with everything. Like any smell could tip you off, could just set you off, you know. And she would set me off with everything. Like a lot of things that I used to love to eat, I really hated it to my good. I hated the smell, I hated the taste, I hated the look of it. And only girls really happy like that. But everybody swore it was a boy. But it's a girl, y'all. And she will be here soon. But yeah, y'all, that is my story time when I found out I was pregnant. It's long, I know y'all, but y'all asked for the video, so I gave it to y'all. This is how I found out I was pregnant. And pregnancy hits y'all at different times. You know, pregnancy, like, you can't never always, you know, depend on what people say when it comes to pregnancy, because pregnancy is different for everybody. Everybody's going to experience, you know, pregnancy differently. Because people was just like, you know, you're not supposed to experience these little these extreme cramps and stuff like that. And I also watched the video, and this girl experienced, you know, the same thing. And I also watched her video, and this is also, I was watching it that night, and the next day I found out I was pregnant. So it was kind of like a sign, you know. Cause I wanted to know, was there any women out there that was going through the same things I was going through, you know, with these cramps? Because I knew I couldn't have been the only one having all of these cramps, you know, and stuff like that. But yeah. So that's how I found out I was pregnant, y'all. And I'm currently 22 weeks today. So we halfway through my pregnancy, y'all. I'm very, very excited. And that's why my room looks like a little mess right now. I know y'all really can't see much, but y'all see the walls is gray. We had to go over some spots and stuff like that and get this room right, you know. And as we start getting stuff for the baby, like, we got a few things, but as we really get this room together for her and stuff like that, because she will be in the room with us, we just having her own little area. And I'm gonna decorate her wall, her bed, her crib, which is behind us right there, as y'all can see. Her crib is gonna be over here on this wall. So, you know, I might take y'all along with me to, you know, decorate her wall and stuff like that. If that's something that y'all want to see, let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Y'all miss with y'all girl. Your girl is back. And until next time, Kay is out.